TikTok could be banned in the United States because of Congress. TikTok CEO Xu Zhiqiu tried to allay mounting national security concerns about the Chinese-owned video app but encountered open hostility Thursday in his first appearance before Congress, a 5-hour thrashing that underscored the popular app's precarious future in the United States. Lawmakers from both parties sought to tie Xu personally to the Chinese Communist Party, frequently interrupted him and called him evasive, while he pledged to safely steward the data of American users and shield TikTok from foreign manipulation. Lawmakers from both parties criticized TikTok, without evidence, as a tool of China's communist government. TikTok is a weapon by the Chinese Communist Party to spy on you, manipulate what you see, and exploit for future generations, said Kathy McMorris Rogers, the Republican chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. The Washington state congresswoman said she supported banning the app outright. Xu's appearance thrusts TikTok deeper into a geopolitical standoff between two great economic powers, as support for a ban swells among lawmakers and the American public. The Biden administration has pushed TikTok's Chinese owners to sell their stakes in the company, but the company has bristled at divestment. And senior administration officials do not think they have the legal authority to ban TikTok without an act of Congress, according to one person with knowledge of internal government discussions. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity to reflect private deliberations. Hours before Xu's testimony, the Beijing government announced that it would strongly oppose any forced sale of TikTok. Such a move would seriously damage the confidence of investors from all over the world, including China, said Commerce Ministry spokesperson Xu Jiuding. Yet the Biden administration faces a narrowing set of options to limit TikTok, and any attempt is likely to collide with a minefield of constitutional and legal challenges. Mystery of the shipwreck that was uncovered under 9/11 ruins. The devastating 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center left the world in an inconsolable state of shock. For years, people grieved, politicians and security specialists focused in on terrorism, and military efforts were ramped up to the extreme. That's probably why it wasn't until years later that something very curious was discovered beneath the rubble of the World Trade Center. In 2010, when construction workers were rebuilding the site, they stumbled upon an old wooden ship. The obvious question was, how on earth did a centuries-old ship wind up 22 feet beneath the Twin Towers? Archaeologists immediately got investigating. After 4 years of digging, analyzing, and studying, they were able to determine that the ship had been built in the 1770s, around the same era as the Declaration of Independence. Researchers also determined that the type of oak used to build the ship would have come from Philadelphia. Strangest of all was that the rings on the wooden hull matched other samples of wood rings that had been used to build Independence Hall, where both the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. The mysterious ship was later identified as a Hudson River sloop, which would have been designed by the Dutch to carry cargo and passengers over the Hudson River's rocky floor. So, how on earth did it end up there? Well, it's believed that after 20 to 30 years of service, the ship was sailed to the lower Manhattan area where it sunk. Historians still aren't sure whether the ship sank accidentally or was purposefully submerged. In the decades that followed, the ship's remains were covered with rubbish, debris, and other materials like rock and soil that were used to expand the area of Manhattan. Oysters were also found on the hull of the ship, suggesting it was submerged for quite some time before it was buried with trash and landfill to form the land that the Twin Towers would eventually be built on. Speaking to CNN about the discovery back in 2014, archaeologist Molly McDonald, who was among those who first discovered the ship, said, "It's such an intense site already based on its recent history." U.S. strikes Iran-backed facilities in Syria after drone kills American. The U.S. military carried out multiple airstrikes in Syria on Thursday night against Iran-aligned groups that it blamed for a drone attack that killed an American contractor, wounded another, and also hurt 5 U.S. troops, the Pentagon said. Both the attack on U.S. personnel and the retaliation were disclosed by the Pentagon at the same time late on Thursday. The attack against U.S. personnel took place at a coalition base near Hasakah in northeast Syria at approximately 1:38 p.m. on Thursday, it said. The U.S. intelligence community assessed that the one-way attack drone was Iranian in origin, the military said, a conclusion that could further aggravate already strained relations between Washington and Tehran. Although U.S. forces stationed in Syria have been targeted by drones before, fatalities are extremely rare. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the retaliatory strikes were carried out at the direction of President Joe Biden and targeted facilities used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. The air strikes were conducted in response to today's attack, as well as a series of recent attacks against coalition forces in Syria by groups affiliated with the IRGC, Austin said in a statement. No group will strike our troops with impunity. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a group that monitors the war in Syria, said the U.S. strikes had left 8 pro-Iranian fighters dead in Syria. Reuters was unable to independently confirm the toll, Iran's state press TV, saying no Iranian had been killed in the attack, quoted local sources as denying the target was an Iran-aligned military post, but that a rural development center and a grain center near a military airport were hit. It said. A military source in Syria told Press TV that the resistance groups reserve their right to respond to the American attack and will take reciprocal action. Romania court extends detention of Andrew Tate pending trafficking probe. Social media personality Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan will remain in police custody until late April pending an investigation into alleged sex trafficking. As a Romanian court extended their detention, their legal team said on Wednesday, the Tate brothers, who have dual U.S. and British nationality, and 2 Romanian female suspects have been in detention since December 29 as prosecutors investigate them for suspected human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. They have denied all the accusations. Wednesday's extension, the 4th since they were detained, comes days after the court denied the brothers' request to be released on bail, a decision they have appealed. Prosecutors, who have argued that Tates posed a flight risk and that they would interfere with the evidence if released, can ask courts to extend suspects' detention for up to 180 days. The prosecution did not manage to bring any new element to support extending the preventative arrest measure. We are at the same stage we were at the start of this case, defense lawyer Ian Gliga told reporters. The criminal investigation in this case is stalling unjustifiably long. Lawyers also said they would appeal against Wednesday's ruling. Andrew Tate gained mainstream notoriety for his popular remarks that he has stated for men, women, and more got him banned from all major social media platforms. Although his Twitter account was reinstated after Elon Musk, who now owns Twitter, acquired the social media network, and unbanning Andrew from the app, he saw that there was no need to ban him whatsoever. So, we don't know when Andrew Tate, also known as the Top G, alongside his brother Tristan Tate, will be released from Romanian prison. They could actually be released in 1 more month, they could add 2 more months, 3, 4, or who knows, maybe a year, or forever. But in the meantime, Andrew has been posting quotes and inspirational words on Twitter for his fans to see. He wants them to stay strong in life, and he is staying strong too.